Mindfulness of a pleasant event. You may want to take a moment to pause this video so that you can think of what pleasant event you want to think about. Imagine that you're watching it on a movie screen and you press pause at one particular moment. We're going to zero in on a very brief moment in your overall pleasant event. Now that you have a specific period of time that you're going to focus on, make sure you're comfortable with your eyes either closed or with a soft gaze in front of you. Now just picture yourself in that moment again. And look around you and observe what you see. If you were sucked back in time into that moment, what things would you be able to look at? Maybe you were in a room, what's in that room? If you were outside, what was in your surroundings? If you were around people, who were they? What did they look like? Can you remember details as specific as what they were wearing? Can you bring up memories as specific as what colors were around you? What textures were around you? Imagine yourself looking down, looking up, looking at yourself. What were you wearing? What position were you in? Were you standing, sitting, moving? Now direct your focus on things that you could hear in that moment. Are there any sounds that stood out to you? Perhaps there was music playing, or you just heard the sound of nature. Maybe it was completely quiet. Was somebody talking? And if so, what were they saying? If you were talking, what were you saying? If you were moving, did those movements create a sound? Now direct your attention to your sense of touch. In that moment, were you in contact with anything or anyone around you? And if so, what did that feel like? See if you can remember details like what textures you may have been touching, the temperature of the air or items you may have been touching. If you were standing on something or sitting on something, what did that feel like? Was there a certain scent around you at the time? Could you smell anything? Food, something from nature, a perfume or cologne? And finally, if you happened to be eating something, what did that taste like? If you happened to be somewhere that had a certain taste to it, like the salt from the sea, was there anything that was stimulating your sense of taste? And what stood out to you? Once you're done going through these 5 senses, direct your attention to what emotions you are experiencing. Try to remember what the intensity of those feelings were. Maybe those feelings were creating specific body sensations, butterflies in your stomach, fast beating heart, or a calm, slow heartbeat. Maybe the emotions changed your breathing in one way or another. And what were the accompanying thoughts in your head? Did you have an inner dialogue going on? Where were your thoughts drawn to? Expand your awareness once again to the pleasant event as a whole. And just take these last moments of the exercise appreciating what that event was and what it meant to you. As you start drawing your attention back to the present moment, briefly pay attention to what you're experiencing right now after having done this exercise. How do you feel different from how you were before you started it? And that concludes your mindfulness of a pleasant event.